All right, everyone, we're going to start off with an agree-disagree question. People with economic advantages are, for the most part, controlling and dishonest. The question's on the board. If you agree, walk to that side of the room. If you disagree, walk to that side of the room. So if you agree, you're going to go to your left. If you disagree, you're going to go to your right.
Is there a maybe?
There's no maybe. You have to decide. People with economic advantages are, for the most part, controlling and dishonest.
For the most part, really?
You have to make a decision. So as soon as they're still sitting, get up and go to one side of the room so you know where to sit. Joe, where are you going?
Here. That's agree and that's disagree.
That's agree, disagree?
Disagree is this side, agrees this side. All right, let's go with the majority first. Why do you guys disagree with the statement? Anyone can answer.
Because I feel like you're lumping everybody into one generic category and individuals can act differently.
Okay, good answer. Right?
Yeah.
We don't want to necessarily judge people without good cause, right? Which is sort of the idea of judgment. What about the folks in the minority who agree with this statement? Why do you agree?
I guess
What's your thought?
thinking of specific examples, like owners of companies, the way they're portrayed on TV, the media. I mean, it's true that some can be different, but the most part.
Yeah, I think to get wealthy, you have to step on people to rise.
Okay, good. Well, I like what Francie said about the way it's portrayed on TV, right? That's a good segue. So today, you can stay standing for a minute. Today, what we're going to talk about is, in this book, how they portray people with economic advantages and how they portray people without economic advantages. All right, you guys can all take your seats. There's a flyer I passed out, a handout in each one of your seats that talks briefly about this way of looking at a text. We're differentiating between the ones who have money and the ones who don't. This is called social class or Marxist theory. This school of critical theory, just like it says on your handouts, focuses on power and money in works of literature. There's 3 questions, according to Appelman, that we're going to look at today. Who has the power and money? Who does not? What happens as a result? So what I want you guys to do is break up into groups of 2. I'm going to put you into groups of 2. You have, at different stations, excerpts from the text. We're going to look at the text and answer these 3 questions. Who has power and money? Who does not? And what happens as a result? I want to model this for you before you guys get into groups, just so you'll know what to do once you get into your groups. This is an excerpt from the text. I'm going to read it to you, and I'm going to answer those 3 questions. Who has money in this excerpt? Who does not? And how does it affect the people in the excerpt? Just to save time, I'm going to skip a little bit ahead because we all read this book. This is Brielle and Sarah, the 2 main characters, riding in a car together going to the mall. After school, I drive to the fancy mall with Brielle in the passenger seat. We're going lingerie shopping for the dance. It might be fun, or at least I think it's supposed to be. I'm going to skip down for time's sake. Okay. Brielle stares out the window sulkily for a while, then turns back to crank up the heat. God, it's like a freaking freezer in here. Shouldn't we have taken my car? This is Sarah talking. I swear I'm the only one in our group of friends who doesn't drive a big SUV. Brielle's car is a silver Mercedes M-Class. It probably costs more than my house. And we almost always take it. But I really like to drive. And I really like to be able to listen to my own music. I mean, singing along to Beyonce is fun and everything, but sometimes I like to be the one in control. So to model these 3 questions for you, who has money in this scene? Brielle is the one that has money in the scene. She's the one that drives a Mercedes M-Class. Who doesn't have money in this scene? It's going to be Sarah who doesn't have money in this scene. And what happens as a result? As a result, Sarah is made to feel like she's less than Brielle because she doesn't drive a Mercedes M-Class. And also, she feels like she's not the one in control most of the time. Brielle, the one with the power, according to Sarah, is in control. She says at the end of here, but sometimes I like to be the one in control for a change. So you all have different excerpts from the book. Let me just quickly break you into 2, or groups of 2 if I can. So Joe, you're going to work with, I don't know your names, I'm sorry, I apologize, just like my regular class. So you 2 guys are working together, you 2 guys are working together, you 2 are working together, you 2 are working together, and you 3 are going to work together. I'm going to give you each 5 minutes to look at the excerpt, the poster book you have. What I want you to do is write down your names First thing you do is write down your names on the poster board. Let me get so the camera can see me. You're gonna write down your 3 names on the poster board, and then you're gonna answer these 3 questions in relation to that text. I'm gonna give you all 5 minutes, and then you're gonna rotate once, so you all get to see different parts of the text. Do you have any questions on the process there? Just use a pen, just use a pen, it's fine.
And we're writing on the.
You're gonna write on the actual poster board, because I'm gonna grade you, I'm gonna look at this. And you're gonna write your names down. So I'm gonna give you 5 minutes, starting right now. So you have 5 minutes. I'm timing you.
What's his name, John?
John, yes.
We don't have a poster board. They have a poster board, they have a poster board.
Good point.
There's
You are
a
going
poster right here.
to share
There's
with me.
one right here. Or is it?
Oh, there's an extra one
You
over
have an
there.
extra? Okay.
Oh, no, actually, stay there, stay there. You can work with that.
We're gonna do it.
So everyone make sure you're writing down something, right?
Why don't we just write it small? You don't mind that I rewrite it?
So you guys have 4 minutes left, so make sure by now you're writing something down, right?
School maybe?
Okay, so who has the power? You wanna raise it?
Yeah, she could.
No, but Emma has.
Does she?
Yeah, she can't get in
I
trouble.
wish she'd call her.
Yeah, right. There you go. So maybe put the school here too, right?
Sarah at the school.
And the school.
You have about 3 minutes left, 3 minutes left?
So the school doesn't have the power to create and overcome, circumvent the punishment.
Okay, so.
While she's writing, just to save time, so something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, right there.
We'll put it down here.
Oh, down there?
Yeah,
We can put our
sorry.
initials up here.
Yeah, that's fine. Just so.
Yeah, I don't know why we thought of that.
I know what this is.
But I didn't even think.
That's how posted.
All right, you guys have about 2 minutes left. Try to write, if you're done writing and you still have some time, try to add something. Add something, make it a little deeper.
Maybe. Alright, so we could be more specific. Brielle believes circumvent any punishment the school dishes out.
Chris, are you filming me there and there?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
That way I'm not
figuring out what's
standing next to
going
you going, is this on still?
Yeah.
Alright, most people are done. You have about a minute left before we switch. So, alright, you have about a minute left before we switch.
We could also write Sarah. It's not explicit in the text, but Sarah can't get at it.
So the idea is for everyone to see different parts of the text so they can start putting this together. You guys are faster than the 8th graders. So. Raise your hand if you're not done. If you're not done, everyone stop, look and listen. Raise your hand if you're not done. If you're not done. Alright, let's rotate our way. Alright, everyone rotate around, go to another excerpt. Make sure when you get there you sign your names there too so I can see who's saying what.
I might have wrote two.
That's fine, that's fine. That order is good. Alright guys, 5 minutes, you start timing now.
Let's go to post that's open.
If the other group wrote big, just squeeze it below. They wrote small, then you don't have to worry about that.
Is this extra for a reason? Or did they just do that?
Yes, so just reading the parts.
Oh, okay.
If you have an X over your text, don't do that part.
Okay, so that's the lawyer.
No, it's Brio. The question is that adult voice that Sarah thinks like she should do.
Okay, so it's turn Brio. Okay. Is the one with the power. Yes. Sarah is not. And what happens as a result is that Brio is encouraging him to follow Aaron's because she's an attorney. She can get out of it. Yeah. Whereas that Drake's family might be original. Well, I think it's just right here. Oh, he said they're not. Yeah.
Just that Rio's wealth gives her power over the adults in her life, making
It
her
says
she
not
can do
like
basically whatever she wants.
harassing my daughter, Brio. So Brio thinks she can get away with things because of
But also just looking at the text.
I mean, it's like because of her,
Yeah.
because of her.
He gets out. He gets out.
No, but also if you just look at it,
But
nothing
then
that says something.
like that's the thing.
She's almost like she's a bully. She has she can afford a lawyer.
Well, yeah, that's like that's not like because she
I don't care. My mom's a doctor.
she literally can afford to be a police. Okay. And then again, Sarah from the school.
Especially the trial.
Alright, I'm writing our names here. L-Y-N-D.
Alright guys, you have about 3 minutes
Say
left.
what? Yep. Sarah.
There's like the court system has power.
Then you're the
So it doesn't matter.
D-A-N. Okay. Me and you are different. We have the Y's.
Exactly, it does not have that pass.
And what should we say about the school? The school is
I feel like she doesn't, I feel like she doesn't respect the school. She can just
So she doesn't
throw
have
out
powers
the
over
principal.
court system.
My mom's in charge.
Except
Yeah. Like she's
someone
not
calls
scared.
her- Someone calls her on,
So what happened as a result is,
calls her on,
Alright, so out there, that she doesn't have the power to
So she-
overcome, receive
yeah,
notions about.
Sean is the principal. Sean is the principal, right? So, whereas, so, stats. I didn't know. Okay, so she, so this isn't the first time someone has said no to her, because the principal doesn't seem to be that intimidated, right?
Alright guys, you have about a minute to go.
So maybe you can say like the school won't work with her?
Yeah, this isn't the first time.
Yeah, the school.
Yeah.
Okay, 5-minute warning.
Just for the time.
I'm gonna wrap it up.
yeah, okay, so we're number 2.
Alright. Alright, I think the last group is done, you guys done? Everyone go back to your original seats. Alright, so we all had a chance, if we had time, I would like to everyone to look at all these different excerpts, because as you put it together, you can sort of see there's a lot of different scenes where the money, the differentiation, or the economic differential between these two characters is very apparent throughout the book. And when I was looking back at it, I was surprised at how many times it came up. I was able to find a lot of excerpts. There's even more than this, but these are sort of like the ones that work the best with like a bigger sort of section. There's a lot of little lines in there. So what I want to ask you guys is, in the end of class, so we can walk away with a different perspective, hopefully. How does using social class theory, which we talked about in the beginning, you guys saw the handouts of definition. How does using that theory, when you look at the text, affect your interpretation of the text? How does it help you understand these characters differently? Joe?
So it helps us understand Brielle a lot more, because in the beginning, if we don't understand the fact that her family is very wealthy, her brashness in the principal's office when she comes into it just seems really confusing. Like, wow, you have a lot of guts to stand there and talk smack to the principal, and then you understand, oh, her family has a lot of connections with not only the school itself, but the school board, and they're very wealthy, and they're very well known, so they have connections, and they can pull strings here or there. And it makes the principal standing up to her seem a lot more brave as well, because if you don't understand that, he just seems like, okay, you're a tough guy standing up to a 16-year-old girl. No, he's standing up to the child of the two people in wherever he lives, the county or whatever, that could take him down.
Right, so that's a great scene with Joe. I don't know how many people got a chance to look at that, but when they get in trouble for harassing, the girl, they could call into the principal's office, and Brielle's like, my dad's a top-powered lawyer, and my mom was on the school board, you know who you're messing with here? And then Sarah immediately, as Joe said, she kind of like sulks down, she's like, I can't really say this, because she doesn't have that kind of courage, right? That kind of connections. What about some of the other guys? What other excerpts, or how did you look at the text differently? Yeah, Jessica.
Well, this isn't about really looking at the text differently,
Yeah.
but in the beginning you asked us like if we think people with money are controlling, and I don't think that they necessarily need to be controlling,
Right.
but like some of the texts show that they can control people because they have a different status.
Right. Are there any parts of the text that you're talking about, or just in general?
Yeah, what was that one? That last one? It was about how Brielle looked pretty and she was like effortless and she was able to buy a new shirt. Yeah.
So I like what Jessica said. So what she said that in the story here, right? They're definitely portraying these stereotypes. The wealthy person in the story is controlling and dishonest, right? One of them she's lying. I forgot. Actually, probably all of them she's lying, right? And the girl who has less social or economic status is the more honest, true character, right? Yeah.
But it's also, I think, interesting because Emma also has a lot of money, but she's another character in the story that doesn't have much power in the school. In fact, she's like bullied by everyone.
Right. So you can see there's probably it's effects in different ways, right? But interestingly enough, with Emma, they don't really. That's not highlighted. You know, her character's not highlighted, but these two main characters, they always seem to highlight the fact that they have money, we don't have money. Good. All right. Well, as this class is winding down and the bell's about to ring, you guys gotta go to your next class. Tomorrow we'll continue with another literary criticism. Look at the text in different ways. What I want you to get you guys to see is each one of these lenses helps you to look at the text in a different way, and hopefully it'll enhance your reading of the text. All right. Go to math class. Everyone push in your chairs and go. As my teacher always says, the bell doesn't dismiss you, I dismiss you.
Yes, so you can go forward and write some comments. Some of you may have already started providing John with some feedback.
Can we do it like later when we go home? So we have
You
time?
certainly can do it later, but you have to remember to do it later, that's the only thing. So you might want to say something now, but